ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਐਲਨ ਗਲੈਸਰ ਨਾਲ, ਇੱਕ ਫਾਰਮਾਸਿਸਟ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਵਿਕਸਿਤ ਮੁਲਕਾਂ 'ਚ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਵੇਖੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਲੋਕ ਪੂਰੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ, ਨੀਂਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ। ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਰੱਕੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ 8-9 ਘੰਟੇ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਲੀਪ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਸੀ, ਜੇਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕਿਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਨਾਨ ਪ੍ਰੈਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਟਿਵ ਡਰਗ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਸੌਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਐਲਨ ਗਲੈਸਰ ਤੋਂ। Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Harpreet.
Thank you. So today we would like to know that a major crisis all across the world today is that people are not getting to sleep. They not have enough sleep. And there are many medicines they are taking, but then again, as we always talk, there are the side effects of the medicines.
Yes.
So what kind of non-prescriptive drugs are available and what should be done to have some good sleep?
Okay. So what normally happens to our bodies when, pre-industrial lighting and lights was that when the sun goes down,
Right.
a certain hormone in your brain got kicked in, what was called melatonin. And that made you kind of dopey and drowsy and sleepy, and you went to sleep. So what happens today? So that's the natural process.
Right.
We interrupt that natural process because what do when the sun goes down? You turn the light on.
Right.
Okay. Now the brain says, oh, there's light.
Right.
Keep awake. And that's exactly what happens. So many people these days are in front of the TV, they're in front of a computer screen, and that bright screen stops the normal process of increasing melatonin from happening. So one of the reasons can be that why you or I don't go to sleep properly is because we haven't shut the light off and had some time with that. Is because we're watching the TV and that bright light is stimulating our brain to keep thinking, especially if you watch the nightly news just before you go to sleep. You're going to have bad dreams. So, and finally, that computer screen, that bright computer screen, everyone's got even these little iPads or readers and whatever.
Right.
That light intensity is telling our body not to shut down and go to sleep.
Okay.
That is that simple thing of taking time, turning off the television earlier,
Right.
turning down the lights earlier, it's just sitting there and talking to somebody else,
Right.
Not having those bright lights, not having to think about stuff that would overstimulate your brain, so not allowing you to sleep. That's some simple things to do.
What about the cell phones right now? These days, when we keep it near to our bed, and then we set up alarms also on that. Does that also has some research come forward which says that these things are not good for your sleep?
Well, if the cell phones sit there and beeps on like someone's texting you, that definitely. See, sound during the night will definitely wake you up.
Right.
And leaving your cell phone right next to your bed, because it's just a beep. I find that very irritating personally, and I make sure I don't have my cell phone next to the bed because sounds will disturb your sleep, and then you may have trouble getting back. So you want a quiet room. That's very important. Absolutely. So noises that
do also affect your sleep.
Absolutely,
Right.
noise will
So
affect
what
your
needs
sleep.
to be done now is, in case you're not being able to follow this schedule, what you are talking, what kind of non-prescriptive drugs are available? Because of course we know there are some prescriptive drugs also which people take to get the sleep. But as you always say, there are side effects of that. So what other things are available in the market?
So first thing you do is if you eat turkey, it has a supplement called tryptophan in it.
Okay.
Because I don't know if anyone's eaten turkey, they can kind of get sleepy a little while.
Okay.
So that's one of the sources
Right.
of tryptophan, which is it's a natural source to make you sleepy.
Right.
It also occurs in milk. So it depends if you want to have a warm glass of milk,
Okay.
An hour before you go to bed. That can help some people.
Okay.
Because it has this, product tryptophan. The other thing is, so now we go into natural supplements. Or actually, you know what is really good? Chamomile tea. So these herbal teas, that's another reason people are wide awake. They're drinking caffeine.
Okay.
If you don't, you've heard many people talk about it,
Yeah.
but you don't realize what are other sources of caffeine besides coffee. Certain colas, soda, pop. If it's dark, it's probably got caffeine in it. That's not good for you.
Right.
Teas, the black teas, any kind of tea would have some caffeine in it.
Right.
If you drink that, that'll help keep you awake at night. A lot of people get more sensitive to it.
Right.
So you got to stop drinking tea and coffee basically, well before. Some people have to stop by noon Otherwise, they're kept awake at
So
night.
instead take herbal teas.
Exactly. Herbal
Okay.
teas, chamomile teas, mint teas.
Okay.
All these ones that I know do not contain caffeine.
Right.
And that's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've done all that,
Right.
and you still can't sleep,
Mm-hmm.
what do? Okay, so for most people, one of the over-the-counter drugs is called Benadryl.
Mm-hmm.
Been around for the last 50, 60 years.
Right.
It will make you sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
It's also an antihistamine.
Right.
Tends to dry up your sinuses too. But it'll only make you sleepy for an hour or two,
Okay.
and then you might wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's one,
Right.
and it's an over-the-counter drug.
Uh-huh.
What I have out front here is natural products.
Mm-hmm.
So this is melatonin.
Okay.
It's been really proved. This is the natural hormone that our body makes
Mm-hmm.
to help us sleep.
Right.
And if your body isn't making enough,
Mhm.
you may have to take it orally.
Okay.
So that you can take, once a day, at least an hour before you go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll start feeling that sleepy feeling.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you still got to do all the rest.
Right.
You got to shut off the TV earlier.
Of course.
Shut off the computer earlier.
All the basic things what you have talked need to be followed.
That's right. And then you can take this
Melatonin.
melatonin.
Mhm.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two. This is a Canadian product too.
Mm-hmm.
It's bedtime and sleep. This comes from the California poppy also.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's just a couple of capsules before bedtime.
Okay.
And you really have a good night's rest.
Right. Okay.
I'm looking at natural things. You wake up refreshed. You don't have a hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Our prescription drugs, 50% of the time,
Hangover is there.
it technically it's a hangover. And if it's supposed to only last 8 hours for some people, if it's
Right.
lasting 10 hours, you're actually driving technically impaired and drunk.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a concern about prescription sleeping pills.
Okay.
And finally, this is a nighttime formula.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a number of different products like chamomile, theanine,
Right.
passion flower, and a little bit of melatonin. This
Mhm.
is kind of a shotgun preparation,
Right.
but this is one of the most effective ones I've ever seen. I
Mhm.
talked to one gentleman.
Right.
He told me he had a particular disease that didn't allow him, kept him waking up all night
Mm-hmm.
for 18 years.
Right.
He took this one. First time he took it, he slept the whole night. He
Wow.
could not believe.
So there are various options available now for the
Yes.
public, and they can take advantage of all that. Thank you very much for this information. Thank you.
Thank you.
ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਐਲਨ ਗਲੇਸਰ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਸੌਣ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਲਕ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਈਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਸਾਡਾ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਇਹ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਦਿਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੈਲਾਟੋਨਿਨ ਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬੱਤੀਆਂ ਛੇਤੀ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦੇਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਹੈ। ਟੀਵੀ, ਕੰਪਿਊਟਰ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਬ੍ਰਾਈਟ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝ ਸਕਦਾ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਜੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਵੇਰ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਇਹਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੁਝ ਪ੍ਰੈਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਟਿਵ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਵੀ ਨੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਇਹ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਫੀਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀ ਚਾਹ ਪੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਪੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਸ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਹਰਬਲ ਟੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਨਾਨ ਪ੍ਰੈਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਟਿਵ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਹਾਰਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਫ੍ਰੀ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਸਲਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਰਕਸ ਫਾਰਮੇਸੀ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ 80th ਅਤੇ ਸਕਾਟ ਰੋਡ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਐਲਨ ਗਲੇਸਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਨਗੇ।